Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Elaina. Привет! I'm your Russian-American makeup and beauty addict. I usually do reviews and tutorials on Mondays and Wednesdays, and on Fridays I do fabulous drag looks because Fridays are a drag. In today's video I'm doing a contour tutorial, contour highlight, how contour my face. It's been requested by some of my subscribers and friends, and I'm gonna show you all the steps how I do it and general guidelines for different face shapes. And I'm gonna show you all the creams and powders and all the steps I take and what's flattering and what's not flattering. I'm gonna show you what I think in my humble opinion. Mind you, I'm not a pro makeup artist, I'm self-taught, but I love my natural looks. So if you guys are interested, then keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe and ring notification bell so YouTube notifies you of all new videos I upload. I upload 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I also go live on some Mondays. So follow me on social media, all the links are down below. So like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into this. So let's talk about contour for face shape and contour in general. So I've been asked by a lot of my friends to do a contour tutorial, although just to put it out there are tons and tons of contour tutorials on YouTube. Just type in contour tutorial and they're gonna have it. A lot of them. But if you guys want to see my opinion, I pretty much agree with the pros that you want to contour for your face shape, and also I would say for what you want to see ultimately as the final result. So there are a few face shapes that have been recognized. Oval is being ideal face shape. Then there is a round, there is a square, rectangular, and there is a diamond shape, and there is a heart shape, and I think there is a triangle, right? Oh, oblong. A couple of other sides I saw the triangle because there is like inverted triangle like this and like this, but it's pretty much a combination of all. I think like all of the shapes are cool, you know, to see like how you contour according to a face shape to make a face look more oval. But the bottom line, I think there is nothing wrong with those face shapes. I think I find like some of the rectangular or square face shapes are so beautiful. Like some of the actresses that I've seen, like they have a beautiful strong jawline. I'm like, I live for that. So I don't know. I don't think oval is so ideal. I think it's considered ideal because it's a perfect proportion. But I think in true beauty lies in a different shapes and different unique features that everyone has. So the beauty is not the perfect symmetrical oval face. The beauty is unique features, how they alter from the oval. So that's my humble opinion. So I think everyone is beautiful, and if you want to enhance some of your features, so you want to make something look better, something you don't like, that's where contour comes in. So I'm just gonna briefly say how you contour for the different face shapes. So for the oval, obviously you do the regular contour here, and optionals forehead and chin, and maybe a little nose. But you know, for everyday life you won't go like so deeply into it. For the round face, obviously you want to make it less rounded here, but again, it's up to you. So you want to contour around the sides, put a deeper color here, and bring it down to make the cheeks a little snatched. For the rectangular, you want to contour. If you have a white forehead, you want to contour sides and here and corners of your face, but everything needs to be done tastefully and not too thick and blend a lot, and not too dark, because all those tricks and tips that I do in my drag videos, they're great for drag or for studio lights like this, but in real life it might look too obvious that you have darkness, so it has to be like a 2-3 shades darker than your skin tone. So that's a rectangular. For the oblong, it means it's a long face, so obviously you want to contour a forehead, a contour a chin, and what else we have? Heart shape. So my face shape is a combination of oval, heart, and I would say diamond. Diamond's like white here, so I'm quite white here, so I like to contour here. And for the heart, you usually contour here, and the heart is very narrow in the chin. I'm very similar to that, and also contour my forehead because my forehead is wide and big here. So I would say there are very rarely people with a face shape that's just oval or just triangular or just heart shape. It might be a combination of a few. So like trying to figure out what shape you are and trying to exactly pinpoint it is kind of useless. I would just try to emphasize the features you want to emphasize instead, rather than think, oh, what shape am I? Like, kind of silly. So what else did I not talk about? I'm just looking at the shapes. Heart, you contour here, here because the chin might be long, and the diamond shape, you want to contour the sides because diamond sometimes is very wide here, and the cheeks you bring in. So this is just like a little basic. So I'm just gonna contour for myself and for what I would do normally and for what would look worse, so you can see the difference. So normally I would say use 2-3 shades deeper than the foundation, or if you do drag, you can go big, but we're not talking about drag here. So I got this Aesthetica palette. So if I drag, I usually go with this because, you know, it's drag. So for my everyday look, I would probably go between these two colors. Also, I have the Sheen Contour Stick, and that's a very good color. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna use the Sheen Contour Stick so you can see. So first of all, find your cheekbones where you have a dip and go a little above because you want to lift your face, and especially if you're over 30 something, 40 something, you know, you want to make yourself look more useful, so you want to elevate. So you want to go here, top of the ear and down. So I'm just doing this without any foundation on, just to show you the whole process, and then I'm gonna wipe it off and do it for real. So I'm gonna take it down, but don't go down past your pupil. See my pupil here? So if you go down, so I'm gonna do it on the side the wrong way. So here I'm gonna find my dip and I'm gonna go right into the dip below the ear. You see the difference where this is and where this is? So I'm going right into my dip. So here I'm gonna go past the pupil. I'm gonna go right into the corner of my mouth. So this is more like a Trixie Mattel. She contours, but you know, it's drag and it's extreme. It's a clown makeup. So if you go all the way to the mouth, you might give yourself the very snatch look, but at the same time, it might age you because contour looks very harsh here. You don't have any lines around your mouth, so you want to stop around here. And if you like this lifted cheek look, if your cheeks are not very plump, you might want to round it up, kind of like I was doing in Mariah Carey tutorial, and bring it up to the nose. And that's a very flattering, feminine contour. I'm gonna wipe it off just for this tutorial. So as far as the forehead, so this is very, very individual. Some people don't like the forehead contour. So if you have a small forehead, obviously you don't need it. I have quite a large forehead, so I would contour my forehead. And this side, I'm gonna bring it a little lower. So you don't want to bring it too low. So if you bring it too low, it's gonna look like dirt, poop on your face pretty much. So there is no amount of blending. For drag, that's a different story. You blend it and you make it really deep. For everyday life, this would be a little too much, okay? So I'm just doing this side wrong, just on purpose. So for me, because I'm white here, I'll contour here too. The sides. Even around the ear, to make my side look a little less bulky. So for the chin, I'll do a little bit of contour on a daily basis, but not a lot. So I'm gonna go right at the jawline. And this is the contour. Maybe just slightly above, but not a lot above. Or completely below so you can't see it. You want to see a little bit definition, but you don't want to go over the board. Again, drag is a different story. Here, I'm gonna go way above. So this is gonna be very extreme. And that's what I often do for drag, to alter face shape. But for real life, you're literally gonna see like you have poop on your chin. Everything goes to poop in my channel. So I will contour a little bit on the lip to create the dip and to make it your lip appear fuller. So you have this ooh thing going on. So just a little bit under. I can even blend with my finger. So immediately your lip looks like it's a little plumper. So for the nose, if I contour my nose for the everyday life, like not for the studio lights, I probably wouldn't at all. Or I'll contour really basically, like 2 lines here. And I'll even blend them with my finger. So for the nose contour, if you really want a nose contour, you do not want a nose contour too far out. Because if you're going too far out, you're gonna make your nose appear wider. If you blend too far down, the contour line, again, is gonna make appear your nose wider. Because if you create shadow here, actually this is the right side and the other one is the wrong side. So let me show you the wrong way. So actually let me show you the darker color so you actually see what it looks like when it's really dark. I'm gonna go to Aesthetica palette. I'm gonna contour. So here on this side, I'm gonna go wider out. And now I'm gonna blend it out. I mean, I'm gonna do it extreme, but you know, you get the point. And on this side, I'm just gonna use the dark color, but I'm gonna contour it more in. And when I blend it, I'm not blending it too far out. So when you blend the foundation, it's all gonna blend together and highlight. So as you can see, this line is very snatched. And the nose looks skinnier on this side. Obviously it's not blended, but you know what I mean. And this side, we got this blended all the way down here. So every time I'm doing a character that with a bigger nose, I blend it all the way down to make a shadow appear farther out, meaning the nose is bigger and wider, so it creates more shadow. So if you blend it out too far, you're gonna look like you have bigger nose. That's how I did Lady Gaga and some other characters. So for the blending out, I'm gonna get my sponge. So I'm gonna show you. I blend out with brushes as well a lot. I like smaller, rounded, firm brushes like this. It's good for blending out, or a brush like this. It's good to contour with. If I'm using a palette, you know, opposing to like a stick, I'll use the brush. I'll just go like this and up. Like I could bring this even higher actually. I think I went lower with this. But anyway, so let's say I'm blending with a brush. So I'm gonna bring it up. So don't bring it down because you want the snatched cheek. So if I had foundation on, it would blend better obviously, because clearly I don't have foundation. So I'm blending the contour on my forehead up into the hairline instead of going down. Because you do not want to bring it too far down. You know, it's gonna look obvious and it's gonna look weird. Again, when I do it with the foundation, you'll see me do it again. It's gonna be more even. So here it is. So now I'm looking more snatched here. And the chin. I'm gonna bring it down. Not up into the face, but down. So now I'm starting to get snatched. Now here, the contour is all the way here. So I'm gonna blend it down into the forehead. So now, as a result, I got half of my forehead dark, which actually would be great for drag tutorial, and then put highlight, it'll be chef's kiss. But for this tutorial, Why do I have orange here? For this tutorial, that's not right. So here, got the contour here. So I'm just gonna circle a motion, blend it, and not try to keep it below, above my natural dip here. I'm just gonna start blending and blend it. And I'm gonna bring it down. So here, I mean, this is a very severe example, obviously, but here you have a droopy look. My cheek is low, the line going all the way to my lip. So it's very aging and it's very unflattering for anyone. The chin here is very high. So I'm gonna blend it up instead of blending down. Actually, this doesn't look that bad because the light color is pretty light, but in reality, this would not fly. In real life, you would see all that, even if the foundation was there and this harsh line. If I go with a darker tone, you'll see this extreme contour. It's very unflattering. So look at the difference. This is very low and droopy, and this is high and snatched. So you'll see the difference. Alright, to apply ABH Luminous Foundation. I love this foundation, the color 315N. That's my perfect shade. So I'm gonna go back to the chin contour stick just because it's easy. Again, top of the ear. And we're gonna go down about middle of the cheek. I find for myself personally, it's very unflattering if I bring anywhere farther down. Like to the middle of my pupil, it would be way too far. I've gone way too far because when you start blending, it's gonna get there anyway. So I'm gonna just bring it up here and a little bit around the ear so you connect it because my face is wide. A little here, forehead. I've got 6 head. I did the other side already. So chin. And remember, unless you're doing YouTube tutorial like I do, or you're doing like some kind of stage makeup for like theatrical or drag, you don't want to go too deep or too harsh or too much because it's going to be very clear and very obvious. It's just not going to look flattering. So I'm going to use sponge, the same sponge I use for foundation, just because the sponge already has foundation, so it's going to blend it better. So I'm going to pull it up into my hairline. And lately I've been wearing bangs, so for me the forehead contour is not as important right now. But you see like the gradual shape. So you really want to blend it with foundation so you don't see this brown line. And the same here. And blend it up. I'm pretty much doing the same thing as I was doing with that brush. Make sure you blend this ear, you don't have brown ears. And make sure you bring it down so you don't have a strap and nothing below. So you'll see a little bit of shadow here. And the shadow continues down the neck. Let's do some light nose contour. I'm gonna use this shade from Aesthetica. It's almost my skin tone because for everyday life, believe me, you do not want nose contour or almost at all or very small, not severe, because it's gonna be very obvious that you have nose contour. It's like it's hard to get away with nose contour and pretend like you have nothing on your nose. I'm just gonna show you a little bit deeper color so you can see, but this needs to be blended. So I'm doing contour first before I'm doing highlight or concealer. Or drag, I do the opposite, but for this I want to do it this way because I want highlight to be more obvious. So I'm starting contour about my eyebrow here and bringing it in a straight line. And I'm blending it with my finger, because fingertips are great blending tools. Or you can just use small sponge or a small brush, or you can pinch a brush to make the blending look easier. Alright, so now we got sort of some kind of contour, and it's very subtle. See, I did a little bit under my lip already. It's very subtle. So for the highlight and concealer, so first of all, if you have dark circles, like I have a lot of depth usually and darkness here, a lot of times I'll just use light concealer. So you really highlight. But sometimes when I haven't had enough sleep or it looks extremely dark than usual, so you want to use your own skin tone concealer or corrector. So if you're using corrector, don't use corrector at the red or orange or pink or red lipstick, please. I think people who can get away with the bright orange or red are the deep skin tone people, the deep beautiful skin tone that can be color corrected with a deeper red. It's fine, but if you're pale Caucasian, do not use orange or red lipstick, please. I'm just kidding. Anyway, it's just gonna look like you need to correct the corrector afterwards because you're gonna have orange circles. I like to use my own skin tone concealer that has a warmth in it. I haven't actually got my hands on this ABH concealer. 8. It's a number 8. And it actually is perfect for my skin tone. So if I put this concealer on, it's literally like my skin tone. So you can correct the dark circles first, just a little bit, and then apply the lighter tone to highlight. So you'll see what I mean. The lighter the concealer, the more is actually gonna highlight your darkness. It might cover a little bit, but you're gonna see the blue peeking through because the blue needs to be color corrected first. So when you apply white and blue, what do you get? Lighter blue, right? Now I can move on to lighter concealer. I'm just gonna use the Incognita by Wet n Wild. I'm going from very expensive ABH to very cheap Incognito. I love this concealer. I like that it's very, very moist. Yes, I said moist. If you don't like this word, go gag elsewhere. I'm just kidding. Anyway, this is very, very luminous, and it's very hydrating, like in my opinion, and it's very high coverage, and it's very cheap, and it smells like a dream. I know I'm weird with my smells. So now we can actually highlight. Obviously for YouTube I would go with the huge triangles and nose and the chin, but for everyday life you could probably just use dots. You know, to be honest, even for everyday life I go with triangles. I just try to blend it out and not use too much, but I'm kind of going in triangular shape, but not like all over. So what happens when you triangular shape here and bring it up? It creates a snatch effect. So it lifts up your eye and you get this instant eye lift effect. Alright, down my nose. I'll blend this with my finger because this is everyday look. It's not drag, so I don't need to be extra tight. And in the middle of the forehead a little bit here. So what I do like to highlight is the smile lines because, you know, everybody has deep hair, especially after a certain age. So when I put some concealer here, now you want to blend this real well because if you don't blend this, you're gonna have greasy. But it does highlight this part. And also, hear me out, I like to highlight a little bit here to emphasize the snatch. Now when I blend this, I'm going to blend this with a little bit of foundation so it doesn't look too white or too sharp. Because remember, this is not drag, this is just for everyday. Well, some people use more for everyday than others, so that would be me. So, you know, just take it with a grain of salt because I like my makeup. So I'm gonna blend this first because this is the place where I don't want too much concealer. The chin. So really take care to blend out here. You see how snatched the cheek looks? The light under the cheekbone, really light on the contour, I would say, really makes a difference. Alright, so now we're gonna blend out dots. So now here's the trick to make a nose look smaller without too much contour. take the highlight color and bring it all the way up to your contour where you would have contoured if you didn't. You could actually skip the contour and just bring it up. If you just have foundation here, it's gonna instantly make your nose appear smaller, because the highlight color, the concealer, is gonna create illusion that your cheek ends right at the nose and the nose is sharp. I have a little bit of foundation left over in my hand. I'm gonna use this to blend the contour a little more, because nose contour, it's like you can really see it usually, so it's really not a good thing in this case. Unless I'm doing drag, I do not want nose contour to be visible. Just make sure I blend this all with foundation color and make it look very natural. So now we can apply blush as well. A cream blush is optional. Sometimes I like to use it, sometimes I'll just use powder. You know, sometimes I'll just forget, to be honest. Let's just use the cream blush. I'm just looking at my makeup color. This is what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to do a neutral eye look with just eyeliner, some lashes. But, you know, I just got carried away. I'm gonna use the NYX orange one. Why not? I'm going to use the same sponge because it has a little bit of foundation contour in it. So don't bring it up too high because it's not going to be flatter neither, because you already have all this concealer highlighter, so you don't want to bring it up too high. You can do it later with powder, but I would just bring it right up to here where your contour was, maybe just a little bit above contour. I'm gonna use the same sponge and blend it, blend it, blend it. So when I'm blending the blush, I'm bringing it up to wrap around a little bit. We can add a little bit more on the temples, a little on the nose. This is all optional. The nose, the chin. I just like it. Adds a little color to the face. So when you're setting, you want to make sure the under eyes are pressed in and blended. So I just did that with sponge because that's where it creases first. I'm gonna use my blender full. Makeup artists usually recommend brushes, but I find when I use brushes, it doesn't get as smooth. Like brushes just apply powder, but then you don't get as smooth like canvas. I find this blender full is like unparalleled. Like I love this. And I know that Tati Beauty doesn't exist anymore, but I love this little thing. I'm using Kimchi Chic translucent powder, Puff Puff Pass. Any powder will do, but I just like this one. I'm gonna use just a little bit, but I do like my sponge. So now that I'm set and I finished blending eyeshadow, and we're gonna go for contour, highlight, and blush, and pretty much emphasizing what I already did. So for the contour, I prefer to use a smaller brush. Sometimes I'll just use the bronzer, to be honest, like a cool tone bronzer for the real life, because it's already a little sculpted, like it's very subtle, see? There's no harsh lines, but you can see the snatched. So we're gonna add some more. So I'm gonna use contour just for the purpose of this tutorial. I'm gonna use the Makeup Revolution. Actually, that's not, is it? Yeah, that's Revolution. I have two of this. I have one NYX and one Revolution. So this one's Revolution. There is this cool tone. I mean, clearly I planned it. This one is more bronzy, so I'm gonna use this one because it's very cool and it's not extremely dark. And actually, if it's too dark, I would dip between this and the highlight color, kind of in between, to make it slightly lighter. It's just me. So the firm brush, the more narrow, the bigger brush, that's gonna be our bronzer, and it's more fluffy. And a similar, any fluffy brush actually is great for blush. I use brushes like this. This is like Wet n Wild from dollar store. I mean, it works just as well. This one's from a dollar store as well. And this one is Melt Cosmetics. See any similarities? They look almost identical. No shade to Melt, but I mean, there you go. So we're gonna go with a small one. Gonna go for that color that I showed you. Test it on my hand, make sure it's not too dark. So we're gonna go again at the ear, because this is where the deepest color is, not here, here. and just bring it down. Not too harsh because you don't want to appear like you have harsh contour. We're not going below this line, we're just going above. And the same thing for the chin, just very so slightly here. Because you do not want a chin strap, believe me. It's gonna look very weird. Just a touch. And the forehead, same thing. Again, although I'm wearing bangs, but kind of pat. Because I don't want this to be too patchy, especially the forehead is the trickiest. And the smallest amount of contour, smallest amount, barely anything. And also the nose. The nose, I'm gonna go between the highlight and the contour shade. Because you do not want nose to be too obvious. Just a tad. And if it's too dark, you can also go back to a sponge and kind of, yeah, you can apply sponge foundation back. It's not gonna ruin it, just a little bit to smudge it. But I think it's just the right amount. Alright, so got our contour, again, very subtle. So I'm gonna use the bigger, fluffier brush for bronzer to make it warmer. I'm gonna use a Went to Miami by Kimchi. I love this bronzer. It's very nice. Okay, very light amount, because you don't want to appear too weird. Again, very lightly on the forehead. I'm blending this into the neck, so make sure everything's blended. And now I'm going to blush. I'm going to use Colourpop Foxy blush. It's orange, it's very pretty. Looks like this. And it's gonna match the... Usually I would use the eyeshadow, but this is not eyeshadow tutorial. So I'm just gonna use this blush. If you guys are interested to see how did this look, I mean, this was very fast and simple. Might not look simple, but it actually was very simple. So now I'm blending the blush almost the same place as a bronzer and contour, just a little higher, not too close to the eye because you don't want it too... The redness next to the eye might look sickly, you know, it's not very flattering unless you do like a avant-garde look. So you don't want to bring it too close to the temple. I'll do a little bit of this technique, a little bit of draping, just a little bit, to create the warmth and to lift the face. So let's spritz with some Revolution Pro Goddess Glow Fixing Spray. I haven't used this in a while. You know what's gonna happen, you know, right? Alright, it's time to highlight. The spray kind of melts everything together and highlight's gonna be more visible. Highlight brush. I mean, I would use anything. Not too big. There are a few techniques. Some people like highlight more blended, but I find when it's too blended, you look like you're sweaty. Your whole face, I mean, there is glowy and there is sweaty. Your whole face is like sweating and oily. So I don't know, I'm just not into it. I can apply a little bit of Revolution opalescence powder, and that's gonna create subtle glow, but it's not gonna be like glistening like you're sweating. But I haven't done the Revolution thing in a while. I like brushes like this small brush. It can still blend, but it's small enough. So for the highlight, I'm gonna use something drugstore, something that's very visible, very bright. I would use highlight color that's close to your skin tone, not too deep, because it's gonna create weird shadows. If it's too deep, it's not gonna look good. If it's too light, it might look like icing and it's too ashy. So this one is great for my skin tone. It's Revlon in the color 201 Daybreak Glimmer. And I might top it with something else. So I'm just gonna go to the top of my cheekbones and blend. It's very pretty. It creates a subtle glow. It's not too overwhelming. There's some highlights that's great for going out, and then they give more color. And this one is a pure glow. Pretty much give you glow without extra color. I'm gonna go a little bit above my eyebrow. Just a little bit. Again, you're going to emphasize texture, so I'm going a little less. Because, you know, after 40, although who cares? I usually put so much highlighter, who cares about texture? I just want my highlight. Alright, I like to bring it to the cheek a little bit to create illusion of the lift, you know, kind of a useful cheek appearance. But again, this is very individual. And the middle of the nose. I don't like to bring it down to my nose tip, and I think it's not very flattering. Like, in my opinion, it's not flattering pretty much on anyone. It's just gonna give you stupid little dot on the nose. It's cute in drag when you put a little dot, a little reindeer dot, but in real life, it's just not cute. In my opinion, my humble opinion. If you like it, why not? Go for it. I just personally don't like it. And I think it just makes your nose look bigger. So I put it in my nose bridge, in the middle of the nose. That's it. I'm not going all the way to the tip. Just a little bit above the lip and the chin. I'm going to take the blush brush and I'm going to blend the blush with a highlight. Make sure you don't create the stripy look and look like you have 2-3 different lines. You want to look blended, like it's all one zone, not 3 zones. Blush, highlight, and contour, and bronzer. So I'm gonna add a little more blush. Okay, so now that we blended this, if I like everything is fine. If I think there's too much highlight, like here, I'll take my blender full. Maybe I'll remove some here. Maybe I remove some from my nose, bring it in. I like to bring it in to create more of a snatch. Maybe too much on the chin. See? Just a little bit something, that's it. So now I want to top this because this is fine, but I want extra pop. And I have a lot of gold, so I want to add something golden and extra reflective. So for the gold extra reflective, again, this is not for everyday look. If you want to go for natural, this would be it. But I want an extra pop, and I'm gonna go for Zaliva. This is pure gold, and this is not gonna look natural for the everyday life. So I'm just using it just for my own pleasure, because I like gold. Just with the tip of my finger, because I don't want it to be too overwhelming. Just a little bit. See, it gives a little gold. So I only need mascara, eyelashes, and lips. This could be the end of contouring, but if you really want to sharpen the cheekbone, I would go with a lighter shade from the contour palette. I would not go for the lighter shade because it's going to create extra brightness. It's unnatural, which is great for drag, but not for everyday life. So I would go for like my skin tone color. I'll apply it. It's about right, I think. I'll apply it right below my contour and bring it in. So this is not bacon, because bacon kind of dries out the skin. I mean, you can do bacon too. It's gonna look real pretty. And wipe it off. I'm just gonna emphasize the line, and I'm gonna blend it immediately. I added a little bit of lighter color, just a tad. See? It just gave this cheek just a little extra oomph. I'll do the same on the other side. I wipe off the excess, make sure it's not too crazy. So now I gave myself just a little more definition. So I'm gonna finish my makeup, mascara, eyelashes, lips, and I'll be back. So here we are, fully finished and snatched. And I put the gold earrings in because, you know, gold. Everything is more gold here. So this is the final look of contour. Let me put the bangs away for a second so you can see the forehead. Obviously, you can see a little bit of something, but it's not too overwhelming. So maybe even on camera you won't guys see as much because the lights are bright. But in the daylight, it's still bright here, so I might take some pictures. So I'll insert the pictures here on the daylight, so what it looks like. So you'll see what it looks like in real daylight. So there you go. So this is the subtle contour. That's how I do it. I'm not a pro makeup artist, but I like to do it this way, especially if I'm going out for regular day activities. There's nothing really too extreme except for the eyes, obviously. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. Let me zoom in so you can see better. There you go. Yeah, the highlight is not for the faint of heart, but you don't have to do it so extreme. I just like to be extra, even on a regular daily basis. I would totally go like this, Walmart shopping or cat picking to adopt a new kitten. I mean, this is my normal. So I'm standing in front of my window. This is natural light. So you'll see the full look. Don't pay attention. Behind me there's a mess. But yeah. See, you probably see more here in natural light. There's some studio lights here, but you know, I'm mostly in the shade. And there is a sun outside, but it's not that bright, so you see some of the contour. But it's not too harsh, you know, you can't see like the chin strap. I hope not. And you know, the nose is not obvious, I think. So I showed it to you guys in the daylight, so you saw how it looks like against my window. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any more questions, if you are the ones that asked for the tutorial, I hope I answered your questions, and I hope this is helpful. Again, this is just how I do it. It's not necessarily how the pros do it, but you know, I watched one video too of the pros too. So yeah, I just like my contour and highlight to be this way. So let me know what you guys do for yourselves. Do you use cream and powders? I used to be only powders, and I didn't like creams because I thought it was wasting my time. And to be honest, it does take extra time. So if I need to get out and go somewhere real quick and I still want to look cute, sometimes I'll use by e.l.f. powder foundation, and I just do powders on top because it's just easier. But you know, if I want to do the full shebang, you know, this is it. So leave me a comment below, let me know what you think, what your normal routine is, if you have any more questions, and I like this video if you enjoyed it, and do subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I upload 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I go live on some Mondays. So follow me on social media, the links are down in the description box, as well as my Patreon group. Thank you so much to all my patrons. Thank you guys so much for your support. I love you all. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next fabulous video. Bye!